Hello, welcome to the 34th session. Till now, we have created public API using GraphQL. But in certain situations, you need to allow the certain functionality to only some user or perform the some operation based on the logged in user. For this, we need to handle the authentication and authorization. I prefer the JWT authentication with the identity, which is commonly used in the ASP.NET web apps. If you are aware of this, then it's great. Otherwise, I will show it how you can implement it from scratch. I have also attached the one link regarding the JWT authentication implementation in the ASP.NET Core. In this session, we will just set up the JWT in the our project. First of all, we need to install the some NuGet packages in the our API project. We need to install the authentication, authorization, entity framework for identity model, and identity model for a JWT. I have already created two methods for adding the services for identity and JWT. So pasting it here. We are adding the identity with the default user and role type. You may customize that. After that, specify the context on which identity will be added and updated the some identity configuration. In the JWT method, remove the default claims. Then generated the assign key from the secret that we are going to store in the app settings. Here we have added the authentication and updated the default scheme. Then specify the detail about the token validation. This will be used to validate the JWT token. We have used the app settings to store the JWT issue or detail. We need to call those methods from the startup. Here, authorization will be added by default, but we need to add the authentication, so add it. For JWT, we have used the Savara configuration value from the app setting. So add those two. Open the ADB context. Here we need to inherit from the identity DB context. It includes the DB schema related to the identity. For this, we need to install the entity framework core, import the namespace. Now we need to create a new migration for this, as it will include the some new DB set for identity. Update the database. DB updated successfully. If you check this in Management Studio, then you can notice that it has created those table prefix with the ASP.NET. Let's see what we have learned in this session. We have added mention packages in the API project and the data project. Here is a method using which we have added the services of identity and configure it. Here we need to specify the DB context on which we are going to add the identity model. DB context must inherit from the identity DB context. For JWT, we have added the authentication and set the default scheme for it. After this, added JWT bearer and configure it. For configuration, we have obtained the various value from the app setting. Then we have called those methods from the startup and enable the authentication. Along with this, we have created the migration as well as updated the database for identity changes. Stay tuned for the next session.